All right, if you've been looking for the episode where we have an agent that gives you the most practical advice for this podcast we've ever had, today is the day. We've got Alison Borrelli with us, and she's going to share with you exactly how she's utilizing AI in her business in an effective way that you can put to work immediately.
Welcome to another episode of Real Estate AI Flash. Today we have a special guest, Alison Borrelli from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Commonwealth Real Estate in Needham, Massachusetts. And so Jimmy's back from vacation. First well-deserved vacation. How you feeling, Jimmy?
I'm feeling like I'm glad that Alison is just coming back from vacation also because I think we both are a little more tan than we were, a little more relaxed, and this is going to bring some really good information. I got to tell you, before we even start, I did a mastermind group last year that Alison was a part of, and I know we're not supposed to have favorite agents or agents that we would model our business after, but I have to tell you, this is going to be fun today because the way that Alison runs her business is something that I would aspire for other agents to do. And the thing she's doing with AI is going to really, I think, inspire some people to do some things and think of things a little differently in a way that's going to absolutely help them grow their business. So I'm excited for us to get into this and really share what Alison's doing because I know it's going to help people.
Yeah, so Alison, welcome to the podcast. And we're really looking forward to diving in with how you're applying AI to boost your business and productivity. And maybe we get started with when was your first introduction to AI and how did you get started?
Sure. Well, first of all, I'm really happy to be here. I have learned a lot from both of you already and really excited to share some of the tips I've picked up along the way. So how did I get started with AI? So I guess I'm a teacher at heart, a lifelong learner, and I really like to learn new technologies. So when we first started to hear about some of this and I was hearing rumblings of this isn't necessarily a good thing, people were afraid of it, I wanted to learn more and I've really begun to embrace it. What I like to do is I first started using it for listing descriptions and social media descriptions. And so like my strength, I think, is brainstorming, creating content, and not so much on the writing part. So I've really embraced ChatGPT to help me with the copywriting for a lot of my social media and website stuff.
That's great. Yeah, you got to have your aha moment, I tell people, like at some point it's got, oh my God, it did that. What else can it do? And I think listing descriptions is where I think majority of our agents have started, Jimmy, of way back.
Yeah, and I would say one of those aha moments for me was when Alison began sharing kind of what she was doing with some of her reviews. And Alison, I'd love for you to share kind of what you did and how that turned out and how you're utilizing that now as well.
Sure, happy to. So last year, one of my goals was to really improve my online presence. I was working on my Google presence and my website. So to beef up my website, what I really wanted to do was create my mission statement, vision, and core values so that when customers are searching for me online, really quickly, they can understand who I am, how I operate, and what's important to me when working with a client. So I took, I would say, about 10 reviews that I'd already had on Google and other places, and I put them into ChatGPT. And I asked ChatGPT, and I can share some of the prompts, but I said, I'm a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Commonwealth in Needham, Massachusetts, and I'm going to give you 10 recent reviews of my services, synthesize them, and extract what I do best. And it was just, that could have been like one of those big aha moments because it came back with all of these things that my clients repeatedly were saying that I do well. And clearly, those were important points for them. So I took those 10 points and then gave it a little bit more information about me, added my bio, added a list of community service things I do, some civic engagement, and asked ChatGPT to write a core values statement for me. And again, it was neat. It felt like this is who I am. So of course, I polished it a little bit, edited it, made it sound more like me, and it's on my website.
So you're using it on your website. How else are you using it in any marketing, or are you just it's kind of a North Star for you of what you want your business to look like, or how are you using it?
A little bit of both. It's what I want my business to look like, but I also use it right front and center in my listing presentation, in my buyer presentation. And the idea here is that this now becomes the foundation for my messaging across the board.
Oh, that's great. See, this is the thing where we're talking about getting a little creative. This is such a, it's so revealing because I think sometimes we can see the reviews and we see what we want to see instead of really what our clients are thinking, even though we're reading it sometimes. And so by having it go in and what was it exactly? It was synthesize or it was,
Yeah. Synthesize them and extract what I do best.
see, that's such a good line. And so I think anyone can take that, utilize this like you're talking about, and really take this to another level. So let's go. Now we've done this. Now, what was the next? Because I mean, like we're talking about, there's layers to this thing. So a lot of times it will start with one thing, then it leads to something else. What did that then lead to as far as your utilization of AI?
So sort of the next step in terms of beefing up my online presence was that I wanted to make sure that I had keywords on my website. It was SEO optimized, and that customers could find me based on what they were searching. So I used ChatGPT again to come up with what are some of the keywords that people in my area are searching for? What is it that they're looking for in a real estate agent in Needham, Massachusetts? So it gave me a whole list. I did make some notes. Gave me a whole list. So what were the top 15 SEO keywords for real estate agent in Needham, Massachusetts to include on your website? So I started with that to try to understand what it is that people are searching for. And then the prompt I used to help me with the FAQs was, I'm Alison Borrelli, a realtor in Needham, Massachusetts. Please help me write a list of frequently asked questions for my website that maximizes SEO and keyword search to help my Google search rankings. And that, again, was another amazing aha moment. So I started taking the questions and putting it back in and having it write an answer from the information it already had, from my core values, from my bio, from my reviews. So it was really tailored to me personally, but included those keywords when possible.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's so good. Hey, let me ask you this though. I mean, I know we've talked about this. I mean, once you have that, know that there's things that you plan to do in the future. What do you plan to do with some of that? Because now you've got this list of frequently asked questions. What does that look like going forward?
So ideally, those frequently asked questions will become all sorts of social media content for me. I really love to do video and put video out there. So one of the FAQs that came up was about being a luxury agent. Well, yeah, I do that. So now I can take that answer. I can create a video. I could use ChatGPT to help me create a script if I needed that, create a LinkedIn article, a blog for my website, carousel post for Instagram, and on and on and on, to layer all the different social medias from this one topic.
Hey, I mentioned this real quick, Rajiv, before I'll turn it back over to you for the next question. But I want to make sure that people do follow you, Alison, on Instagram specifically, is where I kind of really see, and I've seen over the last year and a half, your use of video really take things to the next level. And you do it from a standpoint that really agents could model after in their local area. Before we get to the next AI question, can you talk a little bit about some of the focus on that as well? Because I know there'd be some value there for agents on kind of what you're doing video-wise.
Yeah, I love putting these videos out. I've been doing it now for 4 or 5 years. They're 30-second short form vertical videos. And the goal, as I said before, I'm a teacher at heart. It's really to educate. It's to take one little snippet of the week or a conversation with, a client or another realtor, for example, and talk about it. Today I'm going to be doing one later today, and we've been in a really interesting negotiation, and it's been so great because the other real estate agent, it's been an awesome relationship. That's what I'm going to talk about. So that will become today's video. Then, to put the AI spin on it, I'll run it through captions, take that script, and then drop it into the custom GPT Jeeve helped me make, or made for me, to get the descriptions for social media.
Hey, how nice is it to have Rajiv on the hotline that he can put a custom GPT together for you, huh? Y'all want to talk a little bit about that? I'd love to hear how the two of y'all
Jimmy,
came
before
together.
you go there, I wanted to comment on her blog posts and ranking keyword stuff, the second topic that Alison touched on. And sometimes, Alison, I mean, Google is a great equalizer for all of us because we can see who's ranking in Needham, Massachusetts. So if you just search for Needham, and say there's like 3 websites that are ranking consistently on top of what you're doing, you could feed those 3 websites to ChatGPT and say, why are these 3 ranking for Needham, Massachusetts? Look at those 3 and compare mine and tell me what the gaps are so I can fill it. So like you could, I mean, so it'll help you bridge the gap. And so maybe that's taking your second strategy to, like Jimmy says, there's always another level, like we're all learning.
I wrote that down.
Yeah, I know I do that all the time. I mean, sometimes because we don't rank on everything, right? So it's always good to kind of see what the competitors are doing. But to Jimmy's point, I mean, I've gotten to know Jimmy, I've gotten to know Alison through video, to your point of 30-second videos. Like I start following her every other day. I see a video, she's talking about a topic. It's very bite-sized, digestible, things like that. So Alison, talk to us when you alluded to custom GPTs and things you do regularly and how you sort of streamlined taking your GPT use to the next level.
Sure. So again, thank you for the custom GPT. It's every week with these videos. As I said earlier, I love the creative part, the writing part, not as fun for me. So the custom GPT, I drop in the title of the video and the transcript, and I pull that right from Captions at the Captions app. Actually, I drop it right in, and then it gives me choices, 5 different emotional tones. I wrote that note down too. Right, here we are. So emotional strategies, right? So do I want it to appeal for the curiosity or the fear of missing out, personalization, a sense of belonging, or hope and optimism? And from this list, I select which one resonates best for, I guess, my messaging and what I think my audience wants to hear. And then once I select that, it just runs through and gives me a description for Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Google My Business, and Facebook.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, this is what's amazing is because once you did it once and you've got the custom GPT set up, this is something you're doing on a regular basis. This is what Rajiv has talked about anything that you're doing consistently. Developing a custom GPT like this, it makes a lot of sense. You want to speak to that, Rajiv, also, because I know that you're pretty passionate about that as well.
Yeah, no, I think the base level of use of ChatGPT for all of us is where Alison started with listing descriptions and kind of doing some productivity stuff. But then everybody's productivity and things we use are slightly different. Our processes are different. And so like I have one built for YouTube specifically that gives me the description, the title to Alison's thing, and then the hashtags. Then I have another one just simply for analyzing web pages and telling us the gaps on the web pages. So based on your role, you can build 4 to 5 custom GPTs that you use in week in and week out. That may be slightly different than what Jimmy does, slightly different than Alison. So, and it's so easy to build them that I think learning prompt engineering and doing those things and becoming creative and having a conversation. And even I've learned something from Alison about synthesize this into things that are digestible. And it's just prompting. And the more prompt heavy we get, I think we get good at building them and making the GPTs very effective. So we did a whole episode on custom GPTs and how to build them. So check it out on our YouTube channel or one of the podcasts. Forget the number, but just go through the channel and you'll find it. So.
Yeah. I would love to know, Alison, what you're excited about right now. What's got you excited about your business, about AI, about the future, those types of things as we wrap this up?
So again, going back to that education piece, there's such an opportunity to educate the consumers around so much of our business and our industry, what we do day in and day out, and other bigger things out there. And that's really where I see the potential. I've been playing around with it in 2 ways recently. The first one I actually did this morning, another aha, mind-blowing moment, is I pulled 5 transcripts from Captions, fed it into ChatGPT, and said, here are 5 recent scripts from videos. Please write the prompt. So no, I wanted it to analyze it in tone, look for repetitiveness, because I have a couple of repetitive pieces in every video, and then give me the prompt so that I can, in the future, ask ChatGPT to create a script on a topic using my tone and voice. And it was awesome. I gave it a little bit of information. I forget exactly what the topic was, write about such and such, and it did it. That was really cool. And then the other way is analyzing data. Just started to play around with this. I had a buyer that was looking at a property, and we really wanted to analyze the market in the area because it felt like it was on the high end price range. So I downloaded the data from MLS, the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, specs, and all of that, fed it through. And again, I can get you the actual prompt, but what I wanted was ChatGPT to analyze the data, come back with a succinct, easy to understand analysis geared towards my client. So we could really talk about what it was. And that was, again, awesome. I then fed in the property that we were looking at and wanted it to compare to where ChatGPT thought the price was or should be. Few little caveats, right? Doesn't know location, things like that, that perhaps I need to figure out a little bit more how to prompt it in that way. But again, it's just, there's a lot of capability there.
You know, what's interesting, Jimmy, is we did an episode, if you recall, with Whitney Lore from Berkshire Hathaway Florida Properties Group, and she does it monthly. She downloads market data and gives her social analysis of the data to kind of become the market expert. Alison sort of took it specifically towards a property specifically. Hey, is this priced properly for my buyer or not? And in terms of offer analysis with the market data. So I think there's so many ways you could go with that stuff. And you should build a GPT for that.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, as we wrap up, I know people got some value from this. And like I say, I know that Rajiv and I both learned from Alison's Instagram channel and some of the short form videos. Alison, where would they find you and how would they reach out if they've got a referral to send to Needham in particular?
Sure. So on Instagram, it's at Alison Borrelli. We can share, make sure it's spelled right. Yeah. ALISONBORRELLI. And just send me a DM. But, you know, just do a quick search for me and hopefully that you'll find me.
Yeah, well, that sounds great as well. So.
Yeah, and I know you guys got some value out of this. Make sure you reach out to Alison, tell her thanks. Also, share with Rajiv, myself, as well as Alison, if you utilize some of those things, because I thought it was a great idea at the beginning to take some of your previous reviews and just drop them in there and find out exactly what it is to help you create those core values and to better understand exactly what it is that's drawing your ideal client to you. So thank you, Alison, for everything. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.